Good afternoon, everyone, to another exciting episode of BWHR Voices. Today we have with us Ms. Madhu Srivastava, Group CHRO Vedanta. Madhu, we welcome you on board. It's a pleasure for us to be speaking with you.
Thank you very much, Sugandh. It's a pleasure indeed for me to be here with you today.
Thank you. For all those who are excited to know what is our today's discussion all about, because BW Voices is known for a platform wherein we discuss on weekly basis, we discuss various HR-centric issues that are ongoing in the HR-centric fraternity. So for today's discussion, we'll be discussing why is employee recognition more important in today's era of high attritions. Just a small introduction of what exactly the discussion will outlay. Well, in today's fast-paced and competitive business landscape, the challenge of employee attrition has become increasingly prevalent. Organizations face the constant struggle of retaining top talent and preventing valuable employees from seeking opportunities elsewhere. Now, in this era of high attrition, the importance of employee recognition has reached new heights. Recognizing and appreciating employees for their contributions has emerged as a powerful tool to enhance engagement, foster loyalty, and ultimately reduce attrition rates. Now, in this discussion, we will understand why employee recognition holds greater significance in today's era, examining the impact it can have on organization success and the overall well-being of employees. So, Madhu, my first question to you: how do you think, or how has the era of high attrition rates impacted the importance of employee recognition in organizations today?
Yeah. So thanks, Sugandh. I mean, just to come to why employee recognition is important in the era of high attrition. I mean, it's not just employee recognition, but it is all the softer aspects. Because why do employees? I mean, there's enough study which shows why employees leave companies. They don't leave organizations. They leave bosses, or they leave cultures. So I think all the softer aspects are extremely important, because in a competitive world, any company can meet the expectations in terms of rewards and remuneration or designation or position. It is the softer aspects that will keep the employee tied in to the organization. So employee recognition is one of the things, and I would say 2-3 things that would come into the play is the engagement. The entire engagement piece and recognition is of course a part of it, but how the manager is engaging with the employees, or how the entire ecosystem is there in the organization, which includes the kind of policies that we can have, the employee wellness programs, the work balance that people can get, the softer aspects of being in a company where I enjoy, or the employee enjoys to go back to work every day. So I think in terms of that, recognition is extremely important, because unlike an appraisal cycle which happens once a year, you look at the rewards, you look at the remuneration, you look at the bonus, but recognition can be instantaneous, and you can give it as many number of times as you want, and all the time. It doesn't need to be monetary. It can be it can be just a pat on the back. It can be just words of encouragement by a senior to any employee who's doing well. So I think employee recognition is very important aspect in terms of the softer engagement of the employee, and attaches the employee to the organization. That entire feeling of that ownership comes, and then the employee feels, this is a place that I get recognized in, my work is getting recognized, so I'm attached to the company, I'm looking at a long-term career here. So I think that's an extremely important piece. And I would say in terms of what you can do in terms of employee recognition is huge. It's huge, and the recognition can be done in different forms. So hence it's assumed great importance, particularly in the era of high attrition, where the people are leaving jobs for money. But if you have a good culture, if you have good employee practices, including recognition of the employees, I mean, that attrition can to some extent be taken care of.
So in that aspect, you also feel that, it is a way to retain employees, and not offer them hefty packages. So you think hefty packages can overcome, or, organizations, while rewarding the existing employees, they can scoop down on the way of not paying them hefty packages, and just keep them rewarded, keep them happy, so that, they are retained in top talent.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sugandh. And again, there is enough research which shows that people don't necessarily leave for money all the time.
Mm.
Because, beyond a point of time, I mean, money can only get you so much. You need to have peace of mind. You need to be happy at the workplace. You need to be recognized for what you're doing. At the end of the day, I think as human beings, it's not just an employee, but as human beings, we need that pat on the back. We need that encouragement. We need that positive stroke all the time. And then money can only so much. So I'm not saying that money doesn't have a role to play or packages don't have a role to play. They have a role to play, but I would say it is the entire gamut of the bouquet of offerings or package that you can offer to the employees. And hence, you're right. I mean, you don't have to significantly up your remuneration or give a hefty package, but if you structure it very nicely in terms of retention bonuses or some increase in fixed, not a very high increase in fixed, but package it well with the other aspects on the softer aspects that we spoke about, it can to a certain extent and to a large extent, I would say, it can retain employees. And I've seen it in my whole career, spanning so many years, that it has helped. Employee recognition is a big piece.
So what in your view are some of the key factors that contribute to the increased attrition in today's workplace environment?
So I think there's a feeling that, there is a burnout feeling that sometimes burnout could be one of the feelings that employees are feeling. And, I think post-COVID, people have also realized the importance of
work-life balance.
And personal sides. Work is not everything for employees in today's era. They want to balance things. They want to balance time with family. They want to give time to themselves, for their own health, for their own hobbies. So I think that entire thing of balancing has become extremely important. Work, of course, is extremely important, but not at the cost of the other aspects, be it family, health, hobbies, and all of that infrastructure. So I think one is, I would say, work-life balance. Second, I would say if employees or if people are not getting career opportunities or growth within the company, because it is, again, I would place money at the last factor, but I think career growth, career aspirations being met, the role being very meaty, that is another element which is leading to attrition. And third, I would say, is the entire culture in the company. How your supervisor is, how your bosses are, or how you're treated in the organization. Again, that entire recognition piece would come into that. The entire engagement piece would come into that. How engaged I feel to go back to work. So I think that softer aspect of belongingness to the organization that is leading to an attrition. So I think those are the things. And in the more younger talent or people we hire from the colleges, it is also that fourth element of trying something new all the time. So if you don't get that variety in your role in your current organization, you start looking out to get that variety, to get that kick, to get that different experience. So I think those are the factors. And lastly, I would say the opportunities have really opened up. India is growing in a big way. A lot of investment is happening in India by private equity funds, by other companies who want to come and establish in India. India has become a huge base even for back office for many global companies. So I think India is seeing a huge growth, and that's what my search firms also tell me, that globally there is a demand, in the sense, the number of jobs, the number of openings, the number of opportunities has opened up, but India is like significantly higher compared to global averages. So suddenly the opportunities are much more. People are getting much more opportunities outside. Hence, retaining your talent and engaging your talent, and what we can do in terms of softer side, including our pay packages, the entire employee value proposition, the entire thing becomes extremely important. But people have more opportunities now, and people have become more conscious.
Fair enough. No, holistically, we understand why is there a dire need actually for employee recognition to now come into the picture. It isn't something that wasn't paid attention to, but I would say in today's time and in today's era of retaining people, it has become as need of the hour. If you do not recognize the hard work they're putting in or the loyalty they're showing during times of crisis by not leaving organizations, then it is bound for them to be expecting some kind of recognition so that they feel wanted in any organization. If me as an employee, I am just expected to work and have this mindset that they're paying me and I'm working, so that's not a mutually relatable relationship that other companies might also do the same with me. But
And I
if
think
I have
the recognition is a basic need of any human being, leave alone an
exactly.
employee.
No, but Madhu, you would agree with me that it wasn't something which was a celebratory factor prior to COVID. It was
Absolutely.
only a matter of checklist that once a time in the year when we have those award meetings and stuff. So we'll be awarding XYZ employees, and that is the way to keep them going throughout the year. But today it's not the case. Sometimes
Absolutely.
organizations are appreciating the employees' hard work on monthly basis, weekly basis, quarterly basis, and not waiting for those annual meetings or those annual award days like it used to happen in previous days.
Absolutely.
Considering my father belongs from a service industry, so I know that he used to wait each year for that one day wherein the employees will be recognized for the work or the hard work they put in throughout the year. So today it is not just that the case, because retention is a major issue in today's time, because employees are switching like anything.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
in what other ways, or according to you, what are those ways and strategies employee recognition contribute to reducing attrition rates?
In what other ways? Sorry, just repeat your question.
In what ways does employee recognition contribute to reducing attrition rates and and improving the retention rates?
So I think it is, like I said, it's a basic need to be recognized. I mean, that is the first point. And secondly, it is also when an employee gets recognized, I mean, you're getting recognized in front of other people, how well we can communicate that recognition. That plays an important role, and that is another way in which you can give the recognition. And if I was to speak about, take our own example in our company in Vedanta, we are using this recognition in various ways, and
Okay.
some monetary awards, some are non-monetary awards. So for example, even at a chairman level, for example, and chairman level is the highest category of award that anybody can get in his or her
Exactly.
career in the company. And we have about 100,000 people who work for us, which includes our business partners. So we recognize even our business partners. So we have different categories of
Okay.
awards for employee, for leadership categories, absolutely different, because a lot of organizations feel we need to take care of the mid and junior level employees, but seniors, they are fine.
They'll
They
thrive,
don't.
yeah.
They'll thrive, but that's not the case. I think even at a CEO level, even at the business CEOs level, CXO level, there has to be certain recognition. So we have different categories of awards which are for them, for the leadership excellence. And it's not about the money. The money kitty could be small, but it's a recognition in a big forum where you have a town hall, which your thousands of employees join, and in that forum, your senior leaders get recognized. And not just that, but there are individual contributions, there are team contributions, and then when you recognize teams, it builds a different level of camaraderie, and that entire thing of working together, collaboration. So those things also come into play. So teams get recognized, the business partners get recognized, which is our external third party contractors, because at the end of the day, like in a manufacturing company, most of our work is outsourced to the third party business partners. So if they are getting recognized, their employees are getting recognized, I mean, they value the company more, they will become more loyal partners. And then there are different categories also, like, for example, awards for innovation, awards for digital technology, because I mean, the entire world is going towards digital technology. And if you're not a company which is run digitally or on technology platforms, then I don't think you remain competitive in the market. You lose out pretty soon. So, giving that recognition for people who have that knack of digital technology, introducing something new in the company. So I think there are various ways. And some can be a simple thank you card and a recognition card, which you can just give, one day in the morning, your team does well, just pat on the back, thank you, you've done well today. So there are different ways, and it plays differently in terms of the, mindset of the employee. One is the recognition for me, recognition in front of my team. So suddenly, I feel more valued. And then when you go back and tell your family supports you even more. They know that this is a company which recognizes, so they will support you more, because at the end of the day, when you're balancing time and your family is giving you time to spend more on work, that also helps. So I think that entire thing becomes extremely important. And again, another practice I want to share with you, Sugandh, in terms of how we also look at recognitions
Sure.
or rewards. So we are doing it more frequently. Like you said, it's not an annual cycle. We chairman awards are on a quarterly basis, but on a monthly basis there are business CEO awards. There are different other kinds of awards which you do on a monthly basis. Chairman awards are on a quarterly basis, and these chairman awards are attended on Zoom and on online platform by thousands of our people, including business partners.
Okay.
And their families also join. So it is such a pleasure. Yeah, it is such a pleasure, and it's a great sight to see the family members joining, and they also speaking, and they saying. So, for example, we've had examples of children speaking, saying, "I'm so proud of my dad to have delivered this." Somebody is saying, "I'm so happy my daughter is working for Vedanta, and she's in a very remote manufacturing plant location. But I feel very comfortable because I know that Vedanta is providing for a very safe platform." So, the family gets involved in the entire recognition piece. So you can be so innovative in terms of recognition. It just doesn't need to be just a monetary one award given, but you can, the family, the entire community, the entire office. I mean, everybody gets involved.
And it is even more, the morale boosting situation when you have your family speak for you, because as an employer, you wouldn't know what all an employee is sacrificing at the end. How are the families managing their time and everything without the help of one employee who's working for you. And that is why, as you rightly said, today there's a dire need for employees also to manage and have a balance of work and life both. But it is extremely satisfying to see when the families also come in, and not just on physical events like the annual events that used to happen, but on Zoom as well, as you said, commemorating the success of fellow employees, fellow colleagues. So yes, I would like to quote this as an example that when you have to reward employees or you have to appreciate the work that they're doing, it doesn't have to be always on a podium. You don't have to have an event day set up for the same. You can even recognize their work in front of 100 other people. And now the world is more connected virtually.
Absolutely.
Earlier it was always just a thought that can we connect virtually, can we do video calls, or personal calls are better. Of course, personal meetings will always be better. Personal events, going on stage, getting that award will always have a different feeling than attending it virtually. But at least there is a sense of satisfaction and happiness that at least my work is being applauded. My fellow colleagues know that I am working in this area, and my employers are recognizing for the hard work that I'm putting in each day. Burning midnight oil and making company a huge success, because as an employer, you would agree, without your employees' success, and an organization cannot thrive.
Absolutely. Then very well said, Sugandh. And like you said, technology has enabled that we don't have to set up a big infrastructure to award.
Exactly.
It's you can have hundreds of people, and that communication really is good, because people from all over the world, everybody can join. It's seamless. Exactly. I think the opportunity is huge, and we must leverage that opportunity.
And that is why it is even more important for organizations to hold such recognition awards or meetings on monthly basis, because for that you do not have to avail infrastructure for it. You do not have to make people fly down every now and then. It can happen once in a year, but for monthly or for quarterly recognitions, you can very well connect it over Zooms or Teams and make effective use of technology. So Madhu, also, what specific strategies or programs in your view can organizations implement to effectively recognize and appreciate employees in the era of attrition? Could be something different that you're doing at Vedanta, or could be a very holistic view of what you feel about it.
So I think there could be different ways in which the awards could be given out. Some part of it I covered, but if I was to put it in buckets, monetary award is of course there, and it's a no-brainer. There are companies which go for kind of award, in the sense, holiday packages, or giving some coupons where you can go and buy stuff. So those can be other awards. Then the other way of rewarding is, even in terms of giving a much higher role. I know it sounds a little disruptive, because there is an annual performance management cycle which takes care of the promotions, etc. But why not? If somebody is done well, you recognize that person. You can give a promotion, you can give a increment, you can give a smallish bonus, and advertise it. Then the other, I think, innovative way which I look at it is not innovative, but I think a lot of communication, because it is not just telling that employee that you are valued and you are being recognized, but how the communication can be made to the entire company. And in fact, a lot of companies, including us, we are also posting it on LinkedIn and Facebook and all, who are the winners of the Chairman Award, because then your friends, your families, the entire everybody sees, and then people have that. You always feel happy that you have that status saying you're doing well in the company, and that your company is recognizing you. So I think communication plays a very, very big factor. And a lot of, and another thing that we are planning to try, and we've tried it in the past, is just a dinner or a lunch or a meal with the chairman of the company. I mean, how many people can get that opportunity? So that's a key. And then there can be several other things, but I think those are the things which come to the top of my mind. And also giving awards for different categories. We can get very innovative. It doesn't need to be always for business delivery. Of course, volume, cost, business delivery, free cash flow, EBITDA, revenues, all of those are important. But I think even for softer aspects. So, for example, during COVID, we used to give a special award which we called the COVID Warrior Award. So somebody who would just on his or her own went out, helped communities. You had to just, somebody had to just nominate, and we would give that person a COVID Warrior Award, saying, you were there standing for the country, for the company, for the society, for the communities. So that is special. And another thing is, on the digital, I spoke about digital technology, innovation. So, you can play around with so many categories of awards. The person who has the best leadership team, for example, the CEO who has the best leadership team, or the person or the leader who has got the best retention rate in the team. So you can play around with the category of awards. You can get very, very innovative there on what is a priority for the business at that point.
In such a big organization, Madhu, there are a number of teams working for different segments, and there should be, and there is always a healthy competition also between teams as to who is doing better, who is not doing better. Do you think such competition, healthy competition, I'm claiming, not the office banter or the politics I'm talking about, but I'm talking about the healthy competition. So as an organization, would you be promoting healthy competitions between teams also in order to keep their morale boost? And is this also, or can this also be one of the strategy of retention, wherein the employee feels that, every day I'm given that challenge, every day I'm given that competitive boost to stay ahead in the game?
Absolutely, Sugandh. And I think as long as you mentioned, as long as the competition is healthy,
right?
Definitely. And if the company is using that as a tool, it creates, it is a healthy competition. It gets you better results and outcomes and delivery. But at the same time, there is excitement, there is fun, there is that fun element of, so you just feel happy. When you go to your workplace, you want to be happy. At the end of the day, see, everybody works those 8, 9, 10 hours in the day, delivers outcomes. But if you do it as a happy employee or as a happy person, your output and productivity will be much higher. So I think these kind of healthy competitions will even boost productivity, the entire morale of the employees, that energy, positive energy in the organization. So definitely, it's a very good, it can be a very good tool if done well.
Holistically, we've come down to the conclusion that, it is indeed need of the hour to have such recognitions and award programs for better retention rates. Madhu, if you were to sum up this conversation, let's say in 3 or 5 talk points or checklist for people to always keep in mind while they are dealing in such situations, what would that be?
So I think first one would be that we need to look at the entire rewards, recognition, employee packages, remuneration holistically. The entire EVP is called the employee value proposition. So remuneration is one part of it. But and I say that is only 20-30% weightage in my view, and there's no right or wrong answer. But 20-30%, 70-80% is on the softer side. Manager engagement, how the manager is keeping the employees motivated, rewarding them, recognizing them more than rewarding. Also, for anything that they are doing well, giving feedback, instant feedback, and no surprises at the end of the year. So I think that's the first piece. Second is, I think we can get very, very innovative with the awards, which I spoke about, and then of course there may be several other things that I have not been able to cover or think about, but we can get very innovative. We don't have to just link it to business performance and delivery. The third piece I would say is with the intervention of with technology being available, we can do these recognition programs even more frequently. that is on a planned scale. You can do them monthly, etc. But even when you're just walking around the office, you see somebody good, just recognizing, just a word of praise, pat on the back. You did this yesterday, well done, kind of a thing. You don't have to give a single rupee in that, but just appreciation. So that's the third piece I would say. And lastly, I would again sum it up saying that people don't generally leave for money or a better opportunity. They leave for the softer aspects, which is the right boss, the right culture, right engagement, right recognition, and being a valued employee, being
Exactly.
considered a valued employee of a company.
Thank you so much, Madhu. It was indeed a very enriching discussion with the talk points and the examples and analysis that you've quoted for people to understand why actually it is needed today, and how can companies who are still on the verge of strategizing it as to how can we reward the employees in a better format and not always need infrastructure for it. So you've given out very excellent responses to it. People who still have questions onto how to reward your employees, or how can you strategize it, you can still post questions to Madhu. You can tag her on LinkedIn, you can tag her on Twitter, ask her questions. She'll be happy to respond to all your queries. For now, thank you so much, Madhu. It was a pleasure speaking with you, and thank you so much for the time that you've given us for such an important discussion in today's time.
No, likewise, Sugandh, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation with you and lovely interacting, and many, many thanks for having me here.
Thank you so much, Madhu. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye-bye.